Hey, we're together.
We're together in the flesh.
Yeah.
For the Sagittarius full moon, double eclipse,
Super moon as well, which means it is intense. Lots of energy flying about today. I mean, I've spoke to so many people and they've said their emotions have been all over the place the last couple of days.
Yeah, really, really, very emotional. I have felt extremely elevated and happy.
Me too.
However, I love Sagittarius. Obviously, being a Leo, like Sag and Leo's on the zodiac, but I feel like as well going through the attunements and everything that we've been experiencing over the last couple of months, we've been doing a lot of purging, a lot of releasing. So I'm not surprised that we're not feeling very stagnant.
I agree. And I feel like with the eclipse that's happening as well, we've done a lot of the letting go already. A lot of people haven't been ready to let go of a lot of things, and this eclipse is kind of forcing them to. So I can understand why people may be feeling a little bit heavy.
100%. Oh, our girl Tasha is with us.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hi. I don't know. Hi, is my mic working?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I never know with my laptop. I've had my headset on all day and I was like, oh, I can't bear with this thing on my head any longer. So it might be a bit bad quality, but we'll just have to roll with it.
No problem. Thank you for being with us today. We are together today.
Oh, but that's so nice.
Oh, yeah. We just touched on the full moon today is in Sagittarius. So it's a double eclipse and a super moon. So people's emotions have been very high. But we've been feeling quite good. Yeah, we've been feeling good. We've been feeling alive.
Yeah, I've seen a post about it and it got me all excited. I love it when the moons are, doing fun things. But yeah, I've definitely felt the emotional difference recently. So made me join the gym because I was like, I need to change some habits and do something. And I've been wanting to do it for ages, but I hate gyms. I hate them. And I can't work out at home because there's no space. And like, I don't know, if someone was to walk in on me, I'd just be like, oh God. So I just avoid it. But I decided to join and my bank account is crying, but I went for a swim this morning and it was really nice.
Oh my God, I can't even express like how you have joined us on the Perfect Wake Up Wednesday, because today's topic of discussion is all about abundance. So we're going to be really diving deep into the true meaning of abundance, what abundance is, and how to attract more of it into your life, and tools and techniques that we actually use on a daily basis to really shift our vibration to be able to embrace new abundance into our life. So, oh my God, how exciting!
I'm glad to get to do this together today as well, because I feel like we always have these conversations. So it'll be really, really nice for us to be in each other's energy and flow this way. So yeah, excited.
I know. Well, we're going to kick off. Obviously, if anyone jumps on, I'm going to have to jump up and admit them in. But hey to all of the viewers catching us on the replay on our YouTube channel. We love you, we see you, and we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. My name is Charlie Grech. I am 27 years young. I am based in Essex in the UK. And this is my beautiful soul sister.
I'm Natalie and I'm 29 years young and I'm just down the road, hence why I'm here this evening very, very happily. But yeah, tonight's a big topic. I feel like, especially for you, Charlie, you've been working a hell of a lot on abundance and I'm really excited for you to share all about that. But abundance has been something that I feel I've had to really look at from different perspectives. So I know that's something that you've obviously been integrating yourself, and that's something that you're going to really help teach. But for me, it was the fact that I was abundant in so many areas of my life, but maybe didn't realise it. So I know that you felt the same.
Oh yeah, definitely. Obviously, for many of you that don't know really much about our background and how we got to become the people that we are today. So we are aligned with an incredible women's empowerment community that we actually co-founded with a beautiful woman called Heidi Allen a week before the world went into lockdown, called PutUFirst. Now, PutUFirst has helped us in so many ways, and it's really helped us claim our power back and understand really our limiting beliefs, our excuses, and what was getting in our own way. And something that has actually really helped me with is stepping into my leadership skills and actually being the leader that I want, not only for others in my community, but for me, and really being the person that I am already inside. But I was really sort of, hey, Chloe! Yeah, hi! Yeah, I was really sort of drowned in under the excuses and the self-sabotage that I'd accumulated throughout my lifetime. But now I'm really excited because I've actually created my own abundance program, which is launching on the 1st of June. It's a month program. I'm so excited. We only have 2 spaces left remaining, which is just incredible. I'm so blessed and grateful to be able to go on this journey with so many incredible individuals to really teach them the true meaning of abundance. Now, to me, abundance is everything. Abundance is our ability to be able to do something. Our abundance is the friends that we have, the experiences, the memories, the energy, the life force that we have in our being. And I feel like a lot of people today in society focus on money as abundance. Now, money is definitely a form of abundance. However, we're going to dive into this a lot deeper today, but I was actually speaking beforehand, and one thing that I have noticed with a lot of individuals, and myself included before I knew this information, is we can look at the areas in our life that we lack, and that may be finances, that may be health, that may be relationships. And what we do is we focus so solely on what we don't have that lack then seeps into every area of our life. Whereas if we can focus on the daily abundance, the small miracles, the beauty of the abundance that we have in all shapes and forms around us, that can help us open up the flow of abundance into our life in every shape and form. Now, as I said, we are going to go a lot more deeper into this, but I've noticed with myself included, I actually, well, this idea did hatch, but yeah. I actually realised this when I was moving out of my nan and granddad's house. So I grew up with my nan and granddad, and I always was a little bit scared to maybe move out and let go of my safety net. And when I did that, I moved in with a friend for a while, and then that didn't work out, which was great, because if it did work out, then I wouldn't be where I am now. So I'm really grateful that happened. But when I moved into the house that I'm living in now, like, this is the most beautifulest place I've ever lived in my life. Like, I've never lived anywhere like this, and I'm so blessed and grateful that I actually get to enjoy a space like this. But I had to actually go through a lot of transition with understanding that I deserve this, and understanding that it's okay for me to want more, and it's okay for me to also want more than what I have. But I also had to focus on everything that I was grateful for, and be really present with myself in this now moment, because I feel like you've got to say yes before you can.
Absolutely.
You have to say yes before you can. And that is knowing that you are abundance. Like, we are abundance. We have the ability to turn a thought into reality. We have the ability to take action towards our goals and actually create something out of nothing. Now, I know a lot of people might not think that they do. I had a conversation with somebody the other day who said to me, this is where we have to become we have to really realise the excuses that we tell to ourselves. So I was having a conversation with somebody the other day who was saying about their eyesight. Now, I've joined the 5 a.m. club. I've been waking up at 5 a.m. since January. And if you read the book 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, it will encourage you to integrate this into your life. I just love to challenge myself radically because I like radical change, and yeah, this is the kind of person I am. But their excuse why they couldn't wake up at 5 a.m. was because they have issues with their eyes. So their vision is impaired, so they can't see as well as the average person. Obviously, speaking to me and knowing who I am, and I know many of you ladies know who I am, and excuses don't get past me very easily. My brain was like, does that mean that blind people can't wake up at 5 a.m.? Because we really need to look at how hilarious our excuses are sometimes. Many of us say, oh, I can't do that because of this, and that's actually the reason why you should and you have to do it. And I think abundance is such a beautiful term for our life force energy, who we are as physical beings in this present moment now. We are abundant beings of light. We have the ability to create the life of our dreams, and tapping into that vibration and knowing that you are it now, that is honestly the key to succeeding in anything that you want, because it's tapping into your faith, it's tapping into your higher self, your consciousness, and your life force. And I feel that abundance for me is life. It is experience, and it's believing in myself to experience the life that I deserve and desire. Now, I know you're definitely going to have a lot to cover.
So one of the main things that you mentioned there was about gratitude, and really giving gratitude to be able to accept abundance into our lives. And to be honest, let me touch a bit on my backstory, and then it will make a bit more sense. But I had a very similar background to Charlie. I lived with my nan and granddad for a very long period of time, and I suffered quite a lot through my teenage years. I had eating disorders, I suffered with anxiety, body dysmorphia. That carried through into my adult life, and I didn't feel abundant in any areas. More importantly, I was in a very negative mindset, and I feel like for me, noticing how abundant I was really started when I started to practice gratitude. Because when I started to sit down and really look at the things that I was grateful for in my life, it really shifted my perspective and made me say, oh, actually, there are some really good things that I've got in my life. It's not maybe all as bad as it seems. And like you said, Charlie, that we will look at one area of our lives and focus everything on that. And that was exactly what I was doing. I was in a negative relationship, and I felt like no one was ever going to love me. And so everything in my world was bad because of that one situation. I had eating disorders. I felt like no one was going to love me because I was fat. And so I was so conscious about my body image that I was missing out on all the abundance that I had everywhere else. And I was actually impacting that abundance. I was throwing my abundance away. I wasn't appreciating my body for the abundance of health that I was getting every day. In fact, I was doing the complete opposite and abusing myself, starving myself, purging, laxatives, all of these things, because I had that self-belief. And it was a self-limiting belief, which finally I'm very glad that we have gained clarity and awareness of, not just of that limiting belief, but many that we have experienced in life. And it's so funny because even what you just said about the guy who was with his vision impaired, that's a limiting belief that he was imposing on himself. Yeah. And obviously it's funny because we have done a hell of a lot of work in gaining the awareness to really notice ourselves when we start saying those things or putting those statements upon ourselves. Yeah. But I feel like abundance for me, I just felt like abundance meant a lot. So when I looked in my life and I thought, well, I haven't really got an abundance of money because I didn't feel like what I had was a lot. Then I started to obviously study the law of attraction. And Bob Proctor is someone who speaks massively on abundance. And obviously he told us that abundance is everything, exactly what you just said. And when we look at nature, because of course we are nature's highest form of creation, when you look at nature, there is an abundance of nature everywhere. Look at the amount of leaves on the trees, the blades of grass on the lawn, the clouds in the sky, the pebbles on the floor, there's grains of sand on the beach. Like, it is abundant. So we are nature's highest form of creation. So why is that any different for us? And that was something that really triggered something in my mind. And like I said, the gratitude practice, in the beginning, I would write 1 or 2 things that I was grateful for, because that was genuinely all my brain could come up with, because I was in such a negative mindset. When I tell you now, gratitude is second nature to me. I don't even need to sit down and practice it anymore. I will be driving down the street and I will see the moon while the sun is still in the sky, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this moment right now. And that, I feel like, is another form of abundance. It's learning to live in the now moment and appreciate the beauty that we have around us. That, to me, is a massive form of abundance as well.
Honestly, I couldn't agree with you more, because I feel like abundance, it is us. We are abundance. We are life. Life is abundance. Now, we are coming from a very positive perspective on this, because we have done the inner integration and we like to focus on the light. Now, there's a saying that I have that I love to share with people. It is my right to choose the light. Now, my life has not always been sunshine and rainbows. It has not always looked this good. To be honest with you, I grew up in a very negative environment. I grew up with a mum that suffered with addiction. I was a victim of sexual, emotional abuse as a child. I experienced a lot of trauma that I had to integrate and understand and let go of a lot of shame and guilt around who I am as a person. And that is why now it's my right to choose to focus on the light. Because if I continue to look at all of the lack and the darkness in the world in my life, then I'm missing out on life. Absolutely. Not to say that I'm ignoring the darkness or I'm not facing the reality of that we all experience challenges, because that is life. Like, it doesn't go 100% my way, your way. We all influence life. We all imprint this reality in our own perspective with our own energy. However, I feel that learning who you are, who oneself is, by asking yourself the questions is so much more important than searching for abundance outside of you, because my form of abundance might not be the same as yours. Now, I absolutely love music. Now, this is what I say to a few people. I'm a collector of 2 things, friends and music, and I love to share them all. Now, also, I see energy as a currency. So whatever you pay attention to, you are paying your attention. Now, if you wouldn't invest money in something, why are you going to pay attention to something? You know, when you're a child and your mum or your parents will say to you, oh, just don't pay attention, ignore them. Now, I know that's easier said than done, but when you're an adult, you do have every right to ignore and disregard and just let go of the things that don't serve your highest good, because what is the point of you adding your most highest valuable currency of your attention to something that you do not want in your life? And I feel like a lot of people, that's what they do. I was one of them people. I used to focus on everything that I didn't have. I didn't have enough money. I thought I wasn't pretty enough. I thought I wasn't smart enough. I thought I wasn't confident. Like, confidence was something that I was so struggling with. Now, people always see me as very, very confident. They always say to me, oh, you're so good at speaking. But there's many things that I struggle with. Now, singing in front of people is something that I'm really sort of I am getting over.
Yes,
Getting over.
We're removing that word from our vocabulary.
Because I have the ability to use my voice. However, a limiting belief that I've attached myself to due to worrying about what other people think or experiences that I experienced as a child, I'm limiting my own physical being, my voice, out of fear. Now, if you had somebody who was in a car accident and they were impaired, they could not speak, then okay, fair enough, they cannot sing. But for me to say I can't sing just because I'm choosing not to, I feel like that is such a ungrateful way of using my physical being. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to be the next Whitney Houston out here, but it's just about us allowing ourselves to just be free to express ourselves authentically and be unapologetically us, because we are here to be who we are. Like, your story is your story and you're here to share that. And I feel like that's also another form of abundance. When you can embrace yourself to your fullest potential and free yourself from the limitations that society has put on you and express yourself authentically and love yourself as you are now. No one is perfect, but just be you. People love that. The right people love that. The wrong people won't like anything that you do, so don't worry about them.
Yeah. They were never destined to be in your life anyway.
Definitely not. Like, people who judge are going to judge everyone. So I'm learning now, at the end of the day, all that matters is that I like who I am and that I'm a good person and I focus on what I want, because the more I focus on what I don't want, then I'm adding and I'm literally paying my most highest form of energy to something that I don't want to manifest. Now, there's a lovely saying that I love. It says, worrying is praying for something that you don't want.
Yes, I love that.
It's worrying. When you worry, you worry twice and you pray for things that you don't want. Now, when I first understood this, I actually got quite scared because I thought, oh my God, that means that it's going to manifest everything that I think about that I don't want. It's going to come into physical manifestation and become a part of my reality. Whoa. No, it's not that quick. Like, you can change it. Any mistake that you've ever made, any challenge that you've ever faced, you have the power to make things different. You have the power to shift your reality. Even if you make a mistake, you can go back, you can change it, you can say sorry, you can try something different. It's all a lesson. But I feel like so many people are so scared to make mistakes or so scared to put themselves out there out of fear of failure. But then you're failing anyway because you're not even trying. You're not even giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. You're not even allowing yourself to even see if you have the expression or even the chance to actually make your dreams a reality. You're giving up before you've even had a go. And I feel like life is so beautiful and it is so full of abundance. If we just get out of our own way and stop being so scared to live, then we could all really be able to step into such different forms of abundance and find out who we're really meant to be.
I think there was a really important thing that you said just then, where you said that abundance is found within.
Yeah.
It's not something that's found externally. Now, don't get me wrong. We always say that abundance does come in many forms, and it can. But if you don't feel abundant, if you don't genuinely believe that you deserve that abundance, and if you don't feel it within your heart, then that is something that it won't come to you. You're putting blocks, you're creating resistance. And that is something that was really stood out in my mind, because for me, I feel like when I started to practice gratitude, I started to realise the different forms of abundance that I did already have in my life. I found it really difficult, like you said, to accept the abundance. Like when you said you moved here, you found it really difficult to accept that you deserve this. And for me, I've just recently started dating. I was single for 4 years after a very toxic relationship. I've met a beautiful guy. It's very early days, but I found it really difficult to accept this abundance. And I was like, trying to let my self-limiting beliefs get the better of me. One of the main ones was, it's too good to be true. Like, why do we tell ourselves that? Why can't we just accept our abundance and just really sit in that vibration without trying to convince ourselves that it's going to go wrong, or it's never going to last, or we don't actually deserve it, we're not worthy of it? So that's something that I wanted to touch on as well, is obviously the self-limiting beliefs are something that once you're aware of them, it's a lot easier to shift. And I feel like it's so much easier said than done. Like me and Charlie said in the beginning, we have been a part of PutUFirst, which has obviously taught us a hell of a lot of life lessons that we integrate into our daily lives, and we will continue to do that. We're not saying the journey's over. We are still on the journey. Life is a constant journey. We are ever evolving beings, and it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. There are going to be times when it gets tough, when it gets dark, when it gets lonely, when it gets scary. But we always need the light and the dark to understand that when we're low, we can appreciate the high. And I feel like that's really important as well. Abundance comes in so many different forms. Abundance came to me when I left my ex-boyfriend. Did it feel like that at the time? Hell no. No, it didn't. I felt like I was being dragged through hell backwards. I felt like my heart had been ripped out of my chest. But when I look back at that moment, that was one of the most abundant moments in my life because I chose me. And that's abundance. Like, that was abundance when I decided that I was no longer going to put up with that. And I chose myself. That was abundant energy that I believed that I deserved. Even though I didn't realise it at the time, now I look back and I realise that. And abundance doesn't always show up in the package that you think it's going to. That's another one. Like, even little things when it's like, okay, you say, for example, you say to the universe, I want to earn £5,000 this month. And then the universe will send you someone that gives you an opportunity and you shut it down. How do you know that that opportunity, even though it might have said, oh, you invest £100 and you'll get £200 back next month, how do you know that that £200 wasn't going to escalate into the £5,000 that you asked for? Because you shut down your abundance because it didn't come in the package that you thought it was going to. So I feel like it is about awareness. It's definitely about shifting our perspective, but more importantly, it's not so much searching for the things that are outside yourself. It's knowing and believing that you are an abundant being and that you deserve it all. You are worthy of it all. And abundance ultimately is your birthright.
It is your birthright. And do you know what I would actually encourage everyone to do? So all of the beautiful ladies that have joined us for Wake Up Wednesday, thank you, Queens. We love you so much. I hope you can feel our energy today. And also the people catching us on YouTube for the replay. We love you. We see you. And I really, really feel, I just want to touch on from that because you are so right. And when we say that I am abundance, when I'm saying I am, that means we are. I am is a self-fulfilling prophecy. When I'm saying I am a being of God, I'm not saying I am the only one on this earth. I am saying we are. I am you. We are all brothers and sisters. We are all children of this earth. We are all physical beings living in this universe. However you want to see it, that is a matter of fact. And it is a miracle that we even exist. But when you have your limiting beliefs come up, you may find your limiting beliefs when you are focusing on your goals. And it's that voice that is coming up and it is saying, what makes you think that you can do that? You might write down, I want to attract love into my life. Now, this can be a relationship, this can be new friends, this can be any form of love that you want. I've got a bunny rabbit. He brought a lot of love into my life. Like, I never loved anything so much in my entire life. Girls, get a bunny rabbit.
I agree.
Yes, so we are a part of the bunny club as well. The good bunny club. But I just feel like we have to really actually become aware of them limiting beliefs and ask ourselves the question, like, where did this belief come from? When you think, oh, I'm not good enough, why?
Who told you that?
Who told you that? Why are you not good enough? Why are you not good enough? When your neighbour, if your neighbour wanted something, if your friend wanted something that they truly desire, would you tell them that they're not good enough? So why do we continue to listen to the voice that tells us that we're not? And I feel like when we can become aware of that voice, don't get me wrong, it is very alarming because this is a program that you have been running on your entire life. And for many lifetimes before you, this is habitual programming from your parents, from your family, like family generations. This has been passed to you. Now, this isn't just airy fairy woo woo that we're talking. Like, animals have hardwired programs in them. Most horses can run within about half an hour. Human beings are born into this paradigm, into this existence in reality, and our brain is like mashed potatoes. Like, it's not really fully formed. That's why we're not very hardwired, but we pick up programs from our family. And many of us have this limiting belief that we're not good enough. And I think that really stems around us shifting this vibration now. So we need to replace that. Like, we can't just let go and just be like, oh, yeah, I am good enough now. No, you need to really understand why and who said this to you and where this come from. And you need to go inside yourself, take that seed out and plant a new seed. And I encourage you, plant the seed of abundance, because that is where your fruit is going to grow from, because you are an abundant being. And I feel like the more that we can tap into that frequency, and it is a choice, like daily we have to do this, like gratitude. The reason why we can focus on gratitude now so easily is because we've been doing it for so long. Like when we first started, Natalie said we could only think of like 1-2 things to write. Now I find myself writing A4 pieces of paper every single day. Like I'm going in the bathroom and I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm going, I'm so grateful for my toilet.
We've told Chloe to do this. I know that she knows exactly what we're talking about right now. So she said to me the other day, she's like, I sit on the toilet and I think of all of you. Love it, Chloe.
That is like, abundance is friends, like good conversations, heartfelt experiences, emotions, being able to figure out who you are, time, energy, frequency, money, life. It is all abundance. And I feel like the more that we can focus on the areas of our life that make us feel that vibration of abundance as well. Like many of us will operate on a negative bias. Like we've learned this recently. Like the human mind is programmed to focus on negative things because obviously we are still animals living on a planet and we are now at the top of the food chain, but we haven't always been there. So we used to focus on things that were challenging, so we would stay out of their way so we could be safe. However, that's not the world that we're living in today. So it's down to us to become consciously aware of this and evolve our mindset, because our mindset is really controlling and limiting our expression of life. And even just focusing on that one intention to focus on things that make you feel good. Focus on relationships and experiences that actually open you up. And also even focusing on the experiences that break you open. And that can be heartbreaks. It can also be maybe losing a family member or losing a child or something that is devastating. There's many things in life that we can experience that break us open, but they can also allow us to really appreciate life, because there's so much life that has yet been lived to that has been taken. And I feel like if we just focus on that in itself and allow ourselves to be grateful for who we are now, even though we might not be yet where we want to go, the fact that we even get to focus where we want to go is abundance. Like when we get there, we're going to want to be somewhere else. Like we are literally goal-driven animals. Like we want to always be doing different things, meeting new people, experiencing different forms of life. And I feel like that's abundance as well. Like it's so important to really just focus on what makes you feel good, and also say no to things that don't. Like it is your right to say no, and you don't have to explain yourself. Like no is a complete sentence. We keep saying this.
I feel like when you just mentioned there that we really need to learn to say no to things, that was something that I found so difficult for such a hell of a long time in my life. I'm a Libra, so I'm very much all about the balance. I don't ever like to tip the scales. I always wanted to be liked. I never wanted to rock the boat. And so I'd end up saying yes to things that I never really wanted to do. And again, when you said about worrying and it's causing yourself basically twice as much stress, I'd say yes to something I didn't want to do. Then I'd spend the whole morning thinking, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I wish I didn't say yes. So I'd spend all of my morning worrying about it. I'd go, I'd hate the experience of whatever I'd agreed to because I never wanted to do it in the first place. So I'd gone with the wrong energy. And then when I come home, I spent the next 2 hours saying, oh, I wish I'd never done that. I've wasted my whole day. And honestly, that was something that saying no is not a selfish act, even though it is an act of putting yourself first. And I think that's something that people really, really, really need to learn. And no is so empowering. Like once you get used to using your no, girls, you ain't never gonna go back. Like honestly, no is like my second language now, and I love it because it gives me more opportunity to say yes to the right things. Yes. And that's what's most important, because sometimes we say yes to everything, we can shut off our abundance because we're saying yes to the wrong things, when really we should be saying no to the wrong things to allow the better, more abundant things to come into our lives, and they deserve our yeses and that only. There was another thing, my head's gone obviously because Prince is eating and he looks so cute.
Do you know what? I would love to follow on from that
Okay.
because you just gave me an absolute epiphany. Now, also as much as no is a complete sentence, but even yes is a complete sentence. Now, I'm a DJ and I used to say no to things that I wanted to do because I didn't feel like I was ready, maybe, or I didn't have enough experience, or I was maybe scared to DJ at a club that I'd never been to or something. And I was getting in the way of my own abundance that I wanted. Like, I was writing the goal on my whiteboard. I got the goal. I want 3 DJ sets a month, and they were coming. But all the things I was asking for was coming, and then it was coming to me, and then I was doubting myself. And then I was self-sabotaging, and I was saying no, rather than just getting the fuck out of my own way and just be like, yes, yes. And then practicing more and building up and preparing to succeed rather than preparing to fail. Like, it's equally so powerful. Like, your faith in yourself can transcend any limiting belief if you just believe in yourself. Like, it really takes equally the same amount of energy to believe in yourself as to doubt yourself. Now, as soon as that doubt comes up, just say, no, I choose to believe in myself. You might have to do this 10 times a day. Like, I used to have to do it quite frequently. Even I'd write down my limiting beliefs and I'd rewrite them out on the other piece of paper and I'd cross out the old ones. And I still do that now, like, because it's so important to understand that, yes, even though I learn new positive habits, during that time, from now till last month, till last year, 10 years ago, yes, I've learned a hell of a lot of good beliefs, but during that time, I've also learned things that aren't going to serve me in a month, in a year, in 10 years. So it's a constant process of learning, unlearning, and relearning, and understanding that abundance to you right now may not be abundance to you in 10 years' time. So allowing yourself to shift and change allows you to become more authentic in who you are and who you want to be. And it also allows you to experience and expand. Like, I think it's so important for us to really say yes to things, even if we don't feel like we're ready, because that will give you the accountability that you need to take a step in the right direction.
And also, what you said earlier as well about the fear of failure. So many people will not say yes to things because they are so scared of failing. But honestly, when you realise that there is no such thing as failure in your life, like, you make absolutely no mistakes, even though, like I said, with my relationship, I felt like that was the most horrific thing that I'd gone through in my life. When I look back at that now, that was one of the best things. That was not a mistake. That was a lesson learned. And that's something that's really important. There are no failures in life. There is nothing that you can do, even if you was to do something and you say you invested a hell of a lot of money into a business idea, it didn't work, it fell through, you went bankrupt, that is still not a failure. That means that you've learned what doesn't work so that you can find something that does. And that's how, I mean, maybe we've got our positive rose tinted glasses on because we do like
together.
Yeah, and we like to obviously look at the light, because I feel like we especially spent so long focusing on the dark. And once we've realised actually we are abundant beings and we are willing to accept that abundance, as well as, like you said, Charlie, releasing the things that no longer serve us, that's really important too, because we need to make space within ourselves to accept the abundance. And if you're still carrying those low vibrations, those self-limiting beliefs, all that negativity, the abundance isn't going to show up for you, or it won't show up in the form that you need it to. Yeah. And I feel like in life, we always receive things when we're ready, but when are we ever ready? That's another one. I feel like, when are we ever ready to do anything? It's just about saying yes, having the faith and pushing forward. There was also a part that you said about when people passing away, that could be sort of that lit up something for me, because my nan passed away from cancer. She was only 70 years old and it was very sudden. And at this point in my life, I was abusing my body. I had serious eating disorders. I was really, really toxic to myself. And when my nan's health deteriorated and she was gone within the space of 2 months, it really shifted my perspective to look at my health. And I thought, do you know what? Like, some people would absolutely kill to be me, or to have my health, to have my body, to look like what I look like. So how dare I say no or push away the abundance that is my birthright because my self-limiting beliefs are getting in the way, because I care too much about what other people think. And unfortunately, it did take a massive life-changing event like that for me to see the abundance that I had in that area of my life. So again, I see that as a positive, and I feel like that is so important. Many of us who go through hardships like that, we obviously see it as a very negative time, but if you can look at that experience and really look at it with an open mind, honestly, some of the things that come out of that can teach us so much.
Oh, wow, honestly. What do they say? They say that mistakes or sometimes challenges are blessings in disguise. And if we can look at our challenges and allow them to wake us up to the life that we deserve, rather than the life that we've been settling for because we're scared to step out of our comfort zone. And as we like to rename it, the goddamn hell zone. Like, get out of it, because there's no growth. There's no expansion, there's no experience. You just stay the same. And as human beings, we are not meant to stay the same.
You don't belong there.
We don't belong in the hell zone. And I feel like life is just such a beautiful way of showing us our fullest potential when we are faced with challenges. Like, that's when we have to really say, hold on a minute, this isn't working. What can I do? And that's when we have to get up and sometimes shake off the shit and just get on with it. And I feel like that's when we really see the people who mean the most to us, the people who are really there for us. And that's where we really find out who we are, is when we're faced with challenges. Now, we always love to open it up. Yeah. Obviously, this is a very, very interactive call. I'm so grateful for the beautiful women that have joined us today on Wake Up Wednesday. We love you. Honestly, like, we do this because we really want to encourage people to have these conversations. And we really want to give people permission to actually open their minds to these topics of conversations, because it's so easy for everyone to just focus on what they don't want, but we really want to help you actually focus on what you do want and give you a space, a safe, vulnerable space for you to be able to maybe speak about your dreams, speak about your goals, or speak about your challenges, and maybe we can share our perspective on things that we've experienced and how we shifted our physical reality and how we got out of our challenges. Like, this is a community. Wake Up Wednesdays is a community. So we really want to open it up. Ladies, do you have anything that you'd like to share on abundance? Maybe an experience that you've had that shifted your reality, or maybe an aha moment after something that we've said today? I would love to hear anyone's thoughts out loud. Yay, Claire!
Okay, if you insist. Can you hear me all right?
Perfect.
First of all, sorry for butting in when I logged on. I forgot, like, when I see you, I forget that you're recording and I was late. So I was like,
we love
you. What an amazing Wake Up Wednesday, ladies. Thank you. I have just wanted to share things I've learned from you, ladies, and you kind of touched on it about the toilet thing, and I'm going to bring it up again. But you guys have taught me about the daily gratitudes and the things that I'm supposed to do and not supposed to do, but, that do help, and they do. And I was doing it. And, I think, first of all, lesson number one is don't be so hard on yourself to have to, for anyone that's joining this call that's new to gratitude, to not think that you go, oh my God, I need to do my gratitude. So what am I grateful for? Because then sometimes that just defeats the object and you just think, oh my God, I'm not grateful for anything. What's wrong with me? So I remember when I first started, I found it quite difficult, but I was getting there. And then I got stuck in my own way again, as we do. This journey is waves. It's not this, it's bloody this. And yeah, I started feeling really, I mean, loop the loop. Yeah, it's crazy. And I really lost my way. And yeah, Heidi, the other day, I reached out to her and we were talking, and she just said, whoa, let's take it back to basics. We really need to take it back to basics, Chloe, because I've suddenly got all this awareness, and it is incredible and it is amazing. But what comes with awareness is this bubble of, I don't know where I'm going, and everything's bad because on top of you, because I've got so much awareness of things that are going on in my life and have gone on in my life. And you know, my brain was like how I sound now. It was a jungle. Take it back to basics. And she taught me that that's all I needed to do, was just be grateful for now. And what is it that you're grateful for? Let's get you, rather than overthinking everything else, let's get you back to just thinking about what is good in your life, what can pick you up. And so I've done it, and I would show you now, but my phone's on charge. I've actually stuck on my toilet door a piece of paper saying, what are you grateful for today, Chloe? And I now laugh every time I go for a wee, sit there like a 4-year-old and say, I am grateful for, and I list it. And then when I'm drinking so much, I'm honestly saying so many things out loud every day. I think about you girls when I'm on the toilet, and you know, I say it out loud, and it has just changed my life. And it's just going back to being, and I've just, sometimes I get in my way and I think and I overthink, and then I sit back, and I done it the other day. I went back on my traveling days, and I had a little bit of a share on my social media of all these things that I'd done. And I actually sat there and thought, holy crap, I've had an amazing life, you know. But if you want to rewind 8 years ago, my mum died, and it was the worst thing in my life. It was obviously the worst thing I'd ever gone through. But actually, if my mum hadn't have died, would I ever have moved to Australia? Would I ever have gone to New Zealand? It wasn't in your, actually, so much positive. Don't get me wrong, I'll do anything to have her back. But the positives that have come in a way out of that tragedy was me going off and finding myself. I don't think I'd even would have found you ladies if I hadn't been on that path to be where I am today, you know. So yeah, my heart is really full and full of gratitude, and it's really making me realize the simple things in life that do make you have, you know, being true abundance. So that was my share.
I love you both. Oh God, I'm emotional.
Sorry.
I'm so proud of you. Like, even the fact that you can look at that situation in your life and see so much beauty that came from that really touched my heart, because it took me a hell of a long time to look at a situation, especially with my nan, and not feel guilty for feeling like, oh, okay, well, my life was a little bit better if my nan was an alcoholic. And so when she did pass away, it gave me a sense of freedom. I would do anything to have that woman back here right now. But would I be the person that I am today? Probably not. And the fact that you just said that, it just lit something up in my heart, Chloe, and I'm just so proud of you. I'm so grateful that we're on this beautiful journey of life together. You are my soul sister. We adore you. Absolutely adore you. And I'm going to think about you when I'm on the toilet now.
Oh, please do.
Oh, honestly, Chloe, like, you make me emotional, because I feel like we do that. Like, when we experience trauma, or when we experience things that break us down, we almost go in this emptiness part of ourselves, and we feel like we can't be happy. We almost feel bad for being happy because something bad has happened. But I want you to give yourself permission now to be happy, even during the tough times, because that's what's going to get us through, is focusing on the gratitude, focusing on the love, focusing on the joy, because it could always be worse. I know that that might not be helpful sometimes. Sometimes we do have to look at the challenges that we're facing and say, do you know what? This is really hard. This really bloody hurts. Validate it, get past it. Reach out to a friend, reach out to a soul sister, soul brother, family, anyone that can hold space for you and hold you energetically, physically, and then get through it. Or actually think to yourself, like, am I creating this problem in here, or is this problem in here? Because most of our suffering, it happens, but it happens in here, like, and we can actually give ourselves physical pain by the way that we're thinking about a situation. Like, I remember when I had a very, very traumatic experience with my one of my ex-partners. I walked in on him with another girl. Now, to me, my mind went in complete shock, and I was like, that only happens in movies. Like, that isn't real. And I went into such shock for such a period of time. But I literally, like, I felt like I'd never done heroin, but I felt like I was coming off heroin, and I could physically feel it. And even at that time, I remember thinking to myself, like, there was a day in my life when I never even knew this person. Now this person has done me wrong, and I am experiencing physical pain due to mental suffering and the way I'm looking at a situation. And that is how powerful our brain is.
Wow.
Now, if we can use that power and shift it so it can work for us rather than against us. Now, how amazing is that? And I feel like the only way that we can do that is by becoming aware of how powerful our mind is during challenging times. And for me to understand and have this awareness of this now, it's taken me a long time. But I know that you can feel me when I'm saying it more than you're understanding the words. Like, it is a process, but I'm promising you, a step in the right direction every single day will make such quantum leaps in your life. Like, you will be a completely different person in a year's time just by making small positive daily steps in the right direction, rather than trying to do something all at once. Like, master one before all. And when I say that, I mean one thing, but I also mean yourself before you try and fix the world around you. And I'm speaking from experience when I say that. And I feel like that is the definition of abundance. Like, being able to actually tap into your life force energy and use it for the greater power of you, rather than it being used against you, because you are literally using your own power against yourself. You are being your own worst enemy by focusing on everything that you don't want and expecting it to stay out of your life.
That is deep. That blew my mind. I'm not going to cry, because I remember you saying to me at one point, Charlie, I was going through a bit of a situation, and I was sobbing. I was like, but it's just so painful. And she looked at me, and she was on the phone on FaceTime, and you went to me, but are you in pain? And then I was like, oh, like, well, no, I haven't like stubbed my toe or hurt my elbow, but I was like, it just hurts so bad. And she was like, but are you in pain? And I was like, oh, well, no. And then she was like, no, you are creating your own pain. And I feel like so many of us get stuck in our own mental prisons because we will continue to tell ourselves these stories that never really belong to us in the first place, the majority of the time. And in the end, we are just stopping ourselves from receiving the abundance. Like we said, that is our birthright. You are worthy. You are the creator of your own reality. And ultimately, you choose the abundance in your life. Whether you choose to accept it or reject it, though, is entirely up to you.
Yeah, you either choose to accept an abundance of a lack in your life, or you choose to accept an abundance of love, an abundance of friendships, an abundance. I feel like the one thing that we need to consciously be aware of is when we focus on what we don't have, we're just manifesting more of that into our lives. Like, it's okay to go, okay, this is something that I can improve on, but let me look at everything that I'm good at and everything that is going good, and know that if this is all going great, then this will too. But you're not going to be able to be a happy, whole person if you only focus on where you're lacking. Like, it's just not beneficial. If you go to a child who is very creative, maybe they're great at drawing, they can spell well, but they might not be a good runner. If you just tell them, oh, you can't run, and then they just focus on not being able to run, they might not do anything with the rest of their life because they feel like they're incapable of one thing. And I feel like that's the trap that many of us have got into in society today, is we're so focused on the small percentage of our life that isn't going right, that we're missing out on the abundance of life that is going well. And it's so important as well. The only reason why I can be the person I am today is because I'm around great people who reflect my greatness to me by being so amazing in front of me. And you ladies are them queens. Like, honestly, I always say, like, another form of abundance, I'm like, I realise how amazing I am by all of you being around me, because I must be bloody incredible to attract people like you into my life. And you should feel like that too, because we're not around speaking to you ladies for no reason. We love you.
We love you.
We love you. And love and gratitude is the highest form of our
I feel so emotional.
Oh,
let it flow, girl.
all emotions are good.
And they are all welcome in this safe space. Honestly, however you want to express yourself, you are more than welcome to, because that is what this is about. It's just about being us. It's about having these real conversations, changing people's perspective, opening up people's minds. And we're just grateful that you're here with us.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what Wake Up Wednesdays is all about. It's waking up to the possibilities, the creativity, the you that is you that makes life so amazing. Like, you are the only you on this earth, and that is something to celebrate. And the fact that you even have eyes to see this and a voice to share your story, that's abundance. Like, that is true abundance. Now, ladies, thank you so much for joining us on this week's Wake Up Wednesdays. We love you, we see you, we hear you, we feel you. We hope you feel us too.
Happy full moon. Get manifesting, release, and accept that abundance into your life, ladies, because like we said, you are worthy and abundance is your birthright.
Oh, so remember to keep going, keep growing, and keep
Keep
growing.
going.
We love you.
Bye.